Aloha there, Internet. How are you today? Wait a minute. This is Friday.
What?
This is Friday.
Hello?
Oh, my
It's
gosh.
freaking Friday.
It's Freaky Friday, man. Okay. The reason we're all here and the reason we're doing this and we're releasing this at this time is because we can't help it. We're just too excited for this film.
Hype levels too high.
Hype levels way too high, man.
Emergency reaction.
Yeah, emergency reaction time. Yeah, summon the Kraken.
Whoa now. We're getting a little out of hand. We're kind of... Nate, we're landlocked. What do you want from me?
Okay.
There's only so much I can do here.
Okay. All right. But anyway, this is the Age of Ultron, Avengers Age of Ultron Trailer 3. This is the new one that was just released a few days ago.
Yes.
2 days ago, to be exact, when it was put on YouTube. And we got it queued up here, and it is high time for us to react to it. Gosh, hype. Can't help it.
Play,
Come
push
on.
the button.
Okay.
Come on, push the button.
Okay. Stop it.
I don't know what that was.
Retarded Arnie?
I have no idea.
Probably have to censor that.
Designed to save the world.
Oh.
Man.
Oh.
People would look to the sky and see hope. I'll take that from them first.
Oh, James Spader.
There's only one path to
He's
peace.
so
He's had
intimidating.
such a resurrection here
Their
recently, dude.
extinction.
I mean, first the Blacklist and now this. Wow.
He's awesome. He's just too awesome.
Yes, he is.
Armor around the world. But I created something terrible.
Artificial
Tony.
intelligence.
Tony, what did you do?
It's called the Ultron program.
He had a Bruce Lee
Sure.
t-shirt.
Yeah, Bruce.
Paid for our mistakes.
Oh, no.
Isn't why we fight so we can end the fight and go home?
Uh-oh.
That's
Whoa.
not Betty.
Well, you amazingly failed.
Oh, snap.
Here we go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Game on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we all are.
Scepter.
Nothing.
Oh.
Angsty Thor.
And our will save the world. So stand and fight.
Oh, that's good
Way
armor.
we all get through this. I got no plans tomorrow night.
I'm always picking up after you boys.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
We can tear them apart.
Hulkbuster, yes!
Finally.
Design.
Oh. Quicksilver with a,
Oh,
with a sucker punch.
That's the best you can do.
Don't ever say that.
No.
Holy
His
crap.
head ass.
I believe Thor is on Ultron's blacklist.
Oh. Gosh.
Oh.
That's insufferable. Vision.
Yes! yes! Yes!
Listen to this man.
Please
Look
quit
at
acting
that
like you haven't seen this.
I'm excited. This is gonna be good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, gentlemen. Can you contain yourselves?
Nope.
Nope.
You've just seen nope. Mm-mm.
Nope. The Bentastic has
No,
flipped out
and
and has
too
gone
hype.
into overdrive.
Too hype.
Too hype.
Well,
I can't.
I mean, after 3 Iron Man movies, like, everyone's been waiting for the Hulkbuster. And
They
Oh
didn't
my
get it.
Yeah,
Gosh.
no, seriously.
and they kind of rustled your jimmies in Iron Man 3 because you thought with all those suits you might see
Yeah,
it,
you were.
but you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you saw like a kind of prototype thing. You
Yeah.
know, the tank one that,
Yeah.
that held up the crane.
Igor.
Yeah.
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 That one was cool. But
Oh.
the Hulkbuster, that is
Yeah.
the one that we have been waiting for.
Oh, man.
For a long time. Ever since the Avengers
Oh.
Initiative actually came into effect.
Like, ever since at the end of Incredible Hulk, Tony shows up.
Yeah.
And you're just like, Hulkbuster, come on.
Because you want to see
Because you're
that.
just like, this has got to happen.
Yeah, it has to.
I mean, you're getting full-on giant robot. Yes, I want this.
Yes,
and it's happening.
Giant robot fighting a giant mutagenic gamma-radiated monster. Holy crap! This is like
A kaiju flick.
Yeah, you know,
Basically.
well, better choreographed.
Think about it.
you know,
Think about it.
Whoever loses,
Better
we
choreographed
win.
without a magic sword to solve everything in the end.
Well, it's kind of like Tony Stark and Bruce Banner got together and like, we're going to like do the Pacific Rim sequel right here.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Well, in all honesty,
I mean, Science Bros. Come on.
yeah. I mean, honestly,
You know they would love that movie.
yes, of course. But man, There's talk of Avengers 3 is going to be split into two films. The Infinity War is going to be split in two, in which I think it has to be because there's just so much going on.
Yeah,
especially in the Marvel Cinematic Universe now. But Civil War I feel is going to be the Spider-Man.
Spider-Man is
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man is too essential in Civil War.
Yes, he is.
Like he's a major character.
They
that
had
you have to have him.
Well, you heard about the talks that were going on, and then eventually broke down, and then whenever the Sony hack happened, they finally agreed to it.
Yeah, they finally made the deal.
And they start shooting Civil War within the next few months, and it's got me thinking. The whole thing that happened, though it a horrible thing that happened to Sony. I wouldn't wish that upon any company.
Right.
But
it was all planned.
No, it wasn't planned. But at the same time, it happened, and we get something great out of it. We get Spider-Man in the Civil War. We get Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where he should be, because he is a Marvel essential. I mean, honestly, he's probably the most famous Marvel character.
He's up there.
Yeah, he's up there with I mean, you look at the Marvel Holy Grail, the Holy Grail of Marvel. Stan Lee. Stan Lee, the ones that he actually spent time on. Mm-hmm. Spider-Man is one of them. Spider-Man is definitely one that Stan Lee took time with and actually molded into a great character.
Well, our generation, everyone grew up with the Spider-Man. Series.
Yeah.
Well, Spider-Man's also just the only one. Like, there's the Fantastic Four, but there are four of them. They're the X-Men.
Yeah.
But there's a group of them where Spider-Man's a solo act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In which you could make the argument that now probably the most popular Marvel character is Iron Man, because you see how popular the Iron Man movies were.
Oh yeah.
And you see how popular Robert Downey Jr. is just because of those. Yeah. You remember when Spider-Man came out, how popular Tobey Maguire was. Yeah. You couldn't read a magazine without seeing his face on it.
We saw how long that lasted.
I remember
it lasted for a long time. It lasted for about 5-6 years.
Till the third movie came out.
Third movie. I make the argument that it was a good idea, but they tried too much.
Yeah.
In all honesty, Venom, I can see. Topher Grace, I could see potentially as Venom, but in all honesty, the way they portrayed him and the way they had to take away from the storytelling to tell Sandman's story.
Now, I will say this. The way they handled Sandman, I really, really like.
I do too. But for a different film, they should have saved it for a different film.
Yeah.
For a closing trilogy, which I think is what they were trying to go for, you had to pull out the ultimate Spider-Man villain, which was Venom, and which the way they rushed Venom's storyline, a meteor crashing in the daggone park. Holy crap!
Yeah,
come on, man.
They did not develop that well. They should have. What they really could have done is develop that over a couple of different movies.
Yeah, they could
do little touches here and there. It would have been nice.
Like Jonah Jameson's son, who was the one who brought the Venom symbiote back to Earth. They could have tied that in the second film. Mm-hmm. They could have had him, going to Mars, and then all of a sudden the symbiote comes back with him, and it looks for a stronger host every time. Mm-hmm. And he could have been infected at the end of the second film. Could you imagine that?
Oh, that's an after credits gem. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, all of a sudden, whenever Mary Jane runs away and you see him at the cathedral, all of a sudden he leaves, and you see. Like something like you see like him hold up his hand, and then all of a sudden it like takes over his hand, and you're like oh my gosh, the symbiote.
Yeah.
And
dig it.
That could have happened, and then they could have had that in the third one, and it would have been well laid.
Oh yeah.
It would have been well laid out because it could have come from a confrontation between Jameson's son and Peter. Competing over Mary Jane, and then eventually having to see the strength that Peter has, Venom could be like, I want him. And then he latches onto him and thus adapts to Peter. And there you have it. And you have the entire film about Peter fighting this vengeful nature that he has because he's Spider-Man. Yeah. And the reason he's doing all this is because of his Uncle Ben. Yeah.
Preferably without that awful montage.
We do not speak of emo Peter.
Yeah, let's not do that.
No. Instead, they should have just had aggressive Peter. Like Peter,
which is what you would expect.
Yes, because it brings out aggression. It doesn't bring out like this comb over emo look that has him just like trying to act all Mr. Jazzy cool.
Yeah.
No, you don't turn him into a hipster. You turn him into a jock. You turn him into a jock jerk who just wants to beat everybody up if they don't agree with him.
Yeah, because I mean, one of the major things that happens is, Peter's like, man, I'm beat. I've spent this whole day being Spider-Man. Goes to sleep, and then the symbiote's like, I'm not done. Gets him up, walks him out, and beats the Sinister Six like that. No quips, nothing, and they're just like, no, no sassy lines, no nothing. Just punch down. What? And then he wakes up and he's like, man, I am beat. What did I do? And
Oh yeah.
Oh. How did I get all these injuries? What? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Sorry, that got out of hand.
Yeah,
I
it did.
apologize.
Are we going to talk about the Avengers now?
I guess.
I feel like we should talk about Avengers. Yeah.
Yes, we should. Okay.
I have a theory, actually.
All right,
on.
what's your
Go
theory?
on.
They don't show it as much in this trailer particularly, but they show angsty Thor shirtless with no hammer in sight, and he looks like he's in like some like black stone colored
Lazarus
caverns.
pit.
Yeah. Well, all right. Here's my theory. Is
All right.
the point of this movie they have to divide all the heroes because this is leading into Civil War, and it's gonna be Captain America and Iron Man kind of button heads.
Yeah.
Big time.
And it's also got to lead into Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
So my thinking is that, and there's actually another scene in the trailer where you see Thor getting zapped, and you don't really know what's going on. But there's like scroll work on there that looks on the walls like sort of Asgardian. I'm thinking that Thor actually winds up in hell, as Asgardian hell, Hel,
Yeah.
and is trapped until he gets released at Ragnarok, and that's how Thor gets separated.
Interesting.
Because they're gonna, because you feel like Ragnarok is like where all this bad stuff gets released and everything goes down, and then obviously like things are going bad with the Hulk as well.
Yeah, well, now you have to remember they've confirmed that Loki is in Age of Ultron.
Oh, really?
They've confirmed that Tom Hiddleston is in that movie.
Well, and also at the end of Thor, Thor: The Dark Age, Loki is pretty much king. He rises to the throne through deception.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happens is that he gets the power of the Allfather, and he banishes Thor to hell. That's maybe
possible.
That might be what happens.
So I feel like that's what that is. They're just not,
potential. It's potential. It's a theory, a good theory. I like that theory.
That's
because I keep thinking
I wouldn't
because
have come up with that. That's good.
That is
because they're basically dividing up all the heroes, and I feel like they're not going to come back until the Infinity Wars.
I think so too. Well, go on.
Oh, that's
Caleb.
I was going to ask, do you think it's called the Age of Ultron, so do you think this is just the beginning and it's going to have ramifications like Hydra did from the Winter Soldier, and they'll be fighting
I would
Ultrons
imagine, yeah.
in other movies?
Well, I imagine
or will they wrap it up in this one?
Well, I imagine that this one will be kind of an Empire Strikes Back kind of movie. It won't end on a clean note. It'll end on a note that has logical closure, but it will have a lot of unanswered questions, but it will end on a logical closure point.
I think in regards to that, they may end up beating Ultron, or at least a particular incarnation of Ultron.
Right.
Yeah.
And
there
then
will
it's
be
going to come
leftovers.
out that Tony did it. I think that ends the Ultron part, but it also gives you all of this other stuff of, hey, this wasn't exactly random. This was Tony. What, that could get public opinion against you real
So
quick.
it's like,
Yeah.
you're the problem that caused the problem, that caused the mess that I had to clean up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that could actually turn a lot of the heroes against him.
That's
And-
definitely true.
Well,
And-
you have to think because in the Civil War storyline, something has to change inside Tony to make him want the Registration Act.
It's true.
Well, I think in all honesty, he recognizes the problem that comes, like from Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. The problems that rise with them. I mean, I think the reason the Hulk turns, the reason Tony has to pull out the Hulkbuster is because of what Scarlet Witch, she bewitches.
Right. Well,
the Hulk.
his eyes are messed up.
Yeah.
So
And that's what I
that's
saw.
possible.
And
Yeah.
I think partially he the Ultron project, he recognizes it as a failure because he was letting an artificial intelligence handle it instead of him handling it himself.
Yeah.
And in turn, I think that's what happens. He realizes he has to do this himself. He has to be the face of it, the face of hero registration. And Captain America, being, Mr. Because in all honesty, America is about the original basis of the United States is privacy. You maintaining your private life and you maintaining your right to live your life however you see fit, as long as you don't impede on the lives of others. And he stands for that. That's his moral backbone.
Yeah.
And I think what's going to happen is Captain America is not going to want to change, but Tony sees this as a new age where you have to change, and it's going to be you either adapt or die.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the whole basis of the Civil War storyline. I mean, Civil War, when I first read it, I knew that if they brought this to film, it would be a very dark and a very, very, very polarizing story. And for them to put it in a Captain America film, at first it scared me. But after seeing Winter Soldier and how good the Russo brothers did with that, I have nothing but faith in their hands, because from them pulling off Bucky Barnes, the Bucky Barnes storyline, the Winter Soldier storyline in that way, and them adapting that, and now them adapting the Civil War storyline, I have complete and utter faith in it, especially now that they got Spider-Man, in which I want to end it there because I don't want to get into another Spider-Man kick.
Well, I will say this. One thing that I'm just incredibly happy about.
Go on.
Ant-Man's not in this movie. I hate Ant-Man so much.
I hate the fact that Edgar Wright's not part of that anymore.
Well, see, the thing is, the way they're doing that Ant-Man, it's not Henry Pym. I hate Henry Pym. Like, all the stuff that he's pulled in the comics between him and the Wasp, yeah, no. Ant-Man, no. We're not doing that.
Yeah,
I'm glad he's not involved here.
Well,
I've heard Ant-Man's been in every movie. You just can't see him.
Oh, snap. Twist. M.
Yeah.
Night Shyamalan's actually responsible for that twist.
what a twist! Edgar Wright is one of my favorite directors. He did the Cornetto trilogy with Pegg and Frost, and he did Scott Pilgrim, which I think is one of the most underrated films of the last 10 years.
Glorious.
It's awesome. But when I found out that they pretty much kicked him out of the director's chair after he worked on the project for like 8 years.
Yeah.
To see his vision, he produced a little short film, of what it would look like under his direction. I was excited because you saw the Ant-Man just rise up and then grab a guy and then resize and then throw him and then shrink down again and then run under another. I was just like, whoa, wow, this is awesome. If they actually do it like this, and that Edgar Wright is a great director, and he's not going to risk doing something absolutely stupid.
Yeah, that's true.
But at the same time, the way they're taking the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I thought Guardians of the Galaxy was not going to be that good of a film.
That was great.
That
film was
mind-blowingly good. Mind-blowingly good. The way they adapted the characters, Dave Bautista as Drax. I love Dave Bautista as Drax. He fits that role perfect.
Chris Pratt, you wouldn't expect to show up in a superhero movie.
No.
And he's perfect.
Yes, he
was beautiful.
Yeah, he fits the character of Star-Lord perfectly.
Yeah.
He fits it. Peter Quill, he is Peter Quill. I mean, from now on until the end of time, he will be Peter Quill.
I mean, it's the same as, Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark.
Yeah.
It's the same type of a thing.
Yeah, it's that effect.
I'm so glad that they got a sequel.
Yes.
I'm so glad.
Well, after it made that much money, how could they not?
How could they not? Yeah.
And James Gunn coming back as director, with what he did at the first one. Gosh, here we are, guys. This is what we do. I mean, honestly, when we watch stuff that excites us like this, we can't help it.
Oh yeah, it gets a little nuts.
Oh man. Any final thoughts on the trailer?
I got nothing.
I think it's going to be a good movie.
I believe.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be awesome.
I believe I can sum up
It's
my
Joss
feelings
Whedon
with
directing, dude.
Okay.
It's
That's enough
Joss
of that.
Whedon directing, dude. How can they go wrong?
I still want a Planet Hulk movie, though.
Yeah.
I also want this because that would be awesome.
Yeah, I do too.
And I think they could set that up in this.
I think
They absolutely can.
Oh my gosh, how could they not? Dude,
That's how they separate the Hulk out.
boom! And could you imagine if they do like a surprise, we're doing another Hulk movie and it's Planet Hulk.
And we're
I just want to see Hulk come back for the Infinity Wars after all that, and they're just like,
And it's just like,
Bro,
hey,
it's
hey,
like, we cool?
hey, well, I mean, you got to remember, the whole Illuminati thing, the whole Illuminati group that they do there. This is going to be rough. This is going to be real rough.
Yeah.
Of course, to be fair, they'd also need to get rights to X-Men to do that because Professor X is involved.
Well,
And
well, not necessarily.
well, I mean, they could play it different, of course.
20th Century Fox, they say after they do after they do Apocalypse, that's it.
They're done with the X-Men.
That's what they're saying. That's what it's looking like. because-
Interesting.
Which that also is probably going to be awesome.
Oh, dude, Apocalypse after Days of Future Past.
Oh, yeah.
My interest in the saga has been rejuvenated tenfold. I mean, don't get me wrong, The Wolverine was an okay movie. I found problems with the pacing and the way it finished up. With the way they changed the Silver Samurai, I was mad about that. But overall, I enjoyed the film. But considering you had Last Stand and then you had X-Men Origins Wolverine,
Which let's not get into that.
no,
one.
let's not. And then you had X-Men First Class, which was really good.
Yeah.
Really good. Matthew Vaughn directed that, and it was a really good film. But overall, we were still asking questions about the original trilogy.
Yeah.
I mean, Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart, they were perfect as Magneto and Professor X.
Oh, yeah,
And we wanted to see
absolutely.
closure with that. And then when they released the Wolverine, and you saw Professor X come back to life, and you saw Magneto there at the end during the after credits, it's just like, yes. And then when they did Days of Future Past, I thought, how are they going to pull this off? And then they did it.
Yep.
They did it in a way that was completely logical and understandable. Albeit, there were a few problems. I have a few issues.
Well, I mean, alternate timelines, you tend to get into some hiccups there.
Yeah.
Honestly, with what they had to work with and what they did, I'm fine with every use of Deus Ex Machina that was involved. I mean,
Yeah, I agree with that. But the way the story went, the way it all folded together, everything getting back in line in the main X-Men storyline with Hugh Jackman, Famke Janssen, and James Marsden. I'm glad they brought him back as Cyclops. I'm glad they brought everyone back whenever Logan woke up in the future. I was like, yes, they corrected the timeline. Because when Jean Grey died in Last Stand, I was like, no, that's
There were a lot of
stupid.
other things in Last
That's
Stand where you're just
stupid.
like, what in the world are we doing here?
yeah, that's stupid.
'Cause- what?
Yeah, but anyway, for this film, we're going to watch it premiere night. I don't care what I have to do. I don't care if I have to steal. I actually won't steal. I'll probably just barter with a friend of mine to give me free tickets.
I'll quit
I
my
have a friend who
job.
works at a movie theater.
I ain't scared. No,
I ain't
I don't
scared.
think you'll
You ain't
quit your
scared?
job.
I won't quit my job.
No, you won't.
I'll just.
No, I would not suggest that. Not in this market.
I've got some things I got to build.
We're making a little bit of money off of YouTube right now. We could take some of the money from it and watch them.
We could buy 2.5 tickets.
No, I'd say we could probably see
That sounds like a terrible Chuck Norris
5.
show.
Actually, we could buy 5. We could buy
2.5
5 tickets
tickets?
right now.
Are we gonna have like a pre and post podcast of this?
I think so. And in all
Yes.
honesty, we need to do like a group short review, like a group movie review, like I used to do. We need to do that. But okay, we've bored you all enough. We know that we've gone on and on about this, but we can't help it. We're just so excited for Ultron, and it's only 2 months away. 2 months away. It's gonna be so good. I'm so hyped. He's having a fit over there.
I'm losing it. It's, Woo, boy.
Okay, but anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in, and we hope to hear what you think about Age of Ultron, and what do you think of what we said. But for everyone here at the Renegade faction, this is Nate,
Micah.
Ben.
Caleb.
and we will see you later. And live long and prosper.